Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Swati and welcome back to my channel where if the book is nice, you read it twice. Today I'm bringing you the mid-year freakout tag. It's already been 6 months into this year and I can't believe I've read so little. One of my new year resolutions was to read 200 books a year. That means I should have been over 100 books by now. But that is not the case and I'm very ashamed. So I'm actually literally freaking out, and the best tag to do right now is the mid-year freakout tag. So let's begin. So the first question of mid-year freakout tag is favorite book read this year. For that I have The Astonishing Colors of After. Lee Chin Sanders is absolutely certain about one thing, that when her mother died because of suicide, she turned into a bird. So this book jumps between a magical realism and a hard-hitting contemporary story, and it deals with grief in a very beautiful way. How a person can find themselves through family history, art, grief, and then strength that comes for dealing with these things. So this is very interesting book. The way it has dealt with such a serious situation is commendable, and it goes and makes you feel all the feels. So this is my favorite book for this year so far. The second question is the best sequel for this year so far. So I have read only one sequel this year, so it automatically qualifies, but that is The Kind Worth Saving. This is the follow-up to one of my favorite books, The Kind Worth Killing. So this is the second book which has Lily Kinter, one of my all-time favorite characters. She is again a psychopath. So say what you want to about my choices, but she was one of the most interesting characters I have read in very long time, and I still think about her to this date. And she was brought back again in this book, The Kind Worth Saving, after 8 years of gap between them. So I absolutely loved Lily Kinter in this one as well, but the book was very middle of the road for me. This book is about, now Henry Kimball is a private eye and he is retained by a woman named Joan because she suspects her husband of adultery. So she wants some proof against him, and Henry Kinter is investigating him, but instead of finding an affair, he ends up with 2 dead bodies and a mystery to solve. So this is so beyond his scope that he enlists help of Lily Kinter. So very interesting premise, but I must say what happens in this book is that we find out the mystery as quickly as possible, and then we are sitting there to see what happens to the character. So this was according to me a little bit too long, but still an enjoyable read. Most of the people who have read this has absolutely loved it. Better than okay, but not the best that I have read. The next question is a new release of the year that I still have to get to. And for this, I have selected The Fourth Wing. If you don't know about this book, you are probably living under a rock, because this book has gone crazy viral all over the social media. And I ordered it way before time, so I actually managed to get the sprayed edge edition, but that did not made me read it on time, although I really want to. One of my favorite booktubers, Regan from Peru's project, has put up a reading vlog for this one, and now I absolutely have to read it. So this is The Fourth Wing. It is a dark academia story with dragons. What else can you ask for? So very interesting and highly anticipated. Next question is, what are your most anticipated releases for rest of the year? So there are many anticipated releases that I absolutely want to get my hands on as soon as possible. But I will just state single one, because generally for this I make a video every month to tell you guys about all the anticipated books that I'm looking forward to. I am somebody who loves to keep track of all the new releases that are coming out so that I can get new books for my library. The only one that I want to mention here is something I'm dying to read, to the point that I have read part 1 and 2 of the series. I have part 3 and 4, but I'm waiting for part 5 to give it a binge read. So this is Heartstopper. I know it is easily done book because it's a graphic novel. I want to read the whole series together. So I'm actually punishing myself by waiting for the final release, which is coming in December. The next question is biggest disappointment of the year, and for that I've selected The Bandit Queens by Parini Shroff. Based in rural India, and the premise sounded explosive. It's about Geeta, whose husband died 5 years ago, and everybody thinks she killed him. Everybody thinks she did it, no matter how much she protests. Eventually, it actually helps her out to be one of those self-made women. But when women from the village start asking her for help to get rid of their no good husbands as well, Geeta is in trouble. As you can sense, it is going to be very pulpy and very slapstick kind of a book. I expected humor, but there were really extreme difficult situations in the book. I found that the way they had dealt with a serious topic like sexual assault and murder was a bit hard to swallow. I just did not like the tone of the story, and that's why I've given this book 2 stars. Next question is, what is the biggest surprise of the year? The biggest surprise of the year is again a book that I don't have in my hands right now, but I would love to get a copy for my collection because I absolutely loved it, and it is The Drift by C.J. Tudor. Now I have read his The Chalkman before, and I thought the premise sounded really good, but I kept on hearing bad previews one after another as this book came out. So I kind of sat on it, but then I finally got a copy from my library, and I read it, and I absolutely enjoyed this one. I must say this is a kind of a spoiler, and if you don't want to hear about it, you can skip to the next question. But this is a book which can be enjoyed by a person who would love to read about a zombie apocalypse. So there, I said it. It moves in a certain way that only mere section of population who would enjoy zombie apocalypse kind of a book would love to read it. If you go to it blind, chances are you might not be the kind of target audience this book is made for. But I was one, and I absolutely love this book. The next question is, name a favorite new author. This can be a new author who came out with a book in 2023, or new author just to you. So for this I've selected Anita Kelly. I read her Love and Other Disasters last year, and this year she came out with something wild and wonderful, which is a gay romance with all the adventures of trekking this trail along with snakes and animals and absence of shark. This is a really heart touching story, and the characters were to die for. I absolutely fell in love with them, just like I fell in love with the characters of Love and Other Disaster. And I think referencing serious topics but with fineness, with the tenderness that is required, and I absolutely love her writing. So I think she is a new favorite author from whom I'll buy her new books again and again. The next question is, who is your newest fictional crush? For which I have selected The Astonishing Color of After's Excel. This story is all about Lee Chin and her crush on lifelong friend Axel. So Axel has been, since it is a first person POV, Axel has been portrayed very beautifully, and I think he is a very interesting character. He says all the right things at the right places, as well as he is soft and sober with his inclination towards art. So I kind of found a bit of myself in him. A crush on Axel, although he is a small teenager in this book, but well, it's a fictional crush, so that's alright. So who is your newest favorite character? Now, talking about newest favorite character, I have got two. One is Scarlett Clark from They Never Learn. She is again a psychopath who is one step ahead of people who are trying to catch her. And I absolutely love her, this vigilante psychopath who kills bad men who have done atrocious crime against women, or in general have been horrible people. I love a female who can stick it to the bad man, and she is one of them, so I absolutely love her. Speaking of a female who can stick it to a bad man, is the heroine of The Last Word. And Emma Carpenter is again somebody who actually, this premise is very interesting and this goes haywire. Book is a hot mess, but I absolutely love her character in this, and I love the fact that she one-upped everybody came against her in this one. So without giving any spoilers, the premise of this book is that Emma Carpenter, writes a bad review to a book on a forum, and the writer requests her to remove the review. She refuses, and suddenly she feels like she's being stalked. Worst case scenario, this man actually starts stalking a bad reviewer. Is it actually true? Read this one to find out, and trust me, it is a absolutely ball to read this one. The next question is a book that made you cry. So for this question, I have a memoir that I read earlier this year. Now, I haven't cried or really howled. I love a book that makes me howl with pain. It's just something that I absolutely enjoy. And all my favorites, the Anne Frank Diary, The Nightingale, etc., are the books. I even cried while reading Harry Potter's. So I absolutely love any book that makes me cry. And a new addition to this list is I'm Glad That My Mom Died. This is a memoir written by Jeanette McCurdy, which is sweet, heartbreakingly realistic story of a child actor. So just the situation and how her mother treated her kind of made me gave me a lot of emotions in this book, and I absolutely loved reading this one. So I did not cry for this one, but I did feel a lot of feels. A book that made you happy. For this, I have selected Legends and Latte. Now, I have posted a vlog, I think, for this on my channel, and I absolutely love this heart-warming story. This is a story of high fantasy, low stakes, and good company. It's about making a ogre trying to start a cafe. As the premise suggests, it is one hell of it is very sweet, beautiful, and a kind story. So the next question is, show us the most beautiful book you bought. So I have bought many beautiful. I am not ashamed to admit that I absolutely love book vanity. I buy hardcovers because they look so good on the shelves. So I generally buy only hardcovers, and in between those hardcovers, I do tend to gravitate towards books who are pretty. And this is the book that I think is the most pretty book I've acquired this year. So I will show this to you. This is The Sun and the Void, and it is very thematically colored white and black to show the sun and the white and the void, and just look at its spray edges. I will show a flip through of this book, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. And I hope the content in it is as good as the cover. Question is, what are the books that you need to read by the end of this year? And there are a lot of new anticipated release that I want to read by the end of this year, but there is a project that I'm doing for which I have to read two hefty bombs of a book. I'm talking about War and Peace and Anna Karenina, both by Leo Tolstoy. So these are hefty books. War and Peace being 1264 pages and Anna Karenina being 963 pages. So they are an undertaking and I would love to get through them by the end of this year. So the next question is, best book to movie adaptation seen this year. Now I have not seen too many book to movie adaptations this year. If this was asked last year, if I was answering this question last year, I would have jumped up and down and said The Little Woman, because the movie was stellar. But this year I have not seen any movies which are a book adaptation, although a lot of adaptation they have come out. I have just seen a series which is Heartstopper. I absolutely loved it, and I have done a rewatch of The Matrix and I love that movie, and that's why I was doing a rewatch. I haven't read the book ever, but I think that would qualify for this question. So those were all the questions that I am answering today for the mid-year freakout book tag. I'm absolutely freaking out with the prospect of reading so many books the second half of the year to balance it out, but I've been enjoying my life, visiting family, going around with friends, and I have absolutely enjoyed my time on social media as well. I'm absolutely loving the process of making YouTube videos and putting videos up for you guys. So like and subscribe if you like what I do over here, and comment down below if you want to answer these questions for yourself. I would love to read them and talk to you about books, and see you with another video soon. Bye bye.